Hi, my name is Vashthlos, and today I would like to talk to you about my work in progress for Path of Exiles 3.24 Necropolis League. Voltaxic Rift, Herald of Thunder, Galvanic Field, all of that together. We're a Pathfinder, so we're doing poison damage via these skills. And the way that we engage it is Storm Secret Rings with Lightning Arrow. That is the most simple, boiled down way that I can describe to you as to what I'm doing. We use a bunch of different unique items that I'm going to get to talking about in just a little bit after this introduction. I really want to stress to you that this is a work in progress. This is a puzzle build. You should level as something else, such as Poisonous Concoction. And then once you've reached like level 77 to level 80, you're probably going to have all the passive points necessary. And then hopefully you've played another character or at least farmed some currency so that you can buy the uniques necessary. If all of that sounds pretty fun, if you're up for a roller coaster ride and some cool mechanics, stick around. Holy Giga Chads, I can't believe you guys are still here. Well, since you've been given a compliment now, you have to stick around and hear me say all this crazy shit about my definitely good build. So, I'm going to try and break this down in a fun way and one that doesn't really drag its heels too heavily. I'm going to do my best. I'm sorry, this is like take 30 or something at this point, but here we go. Voltaxic Rift, you care about it converting your lightning damage over to chaos damage. Physical damage and chaos damage are the only two types of damage that can actually apply poison, which is what we're doing as a Pathfinder. The other stat that you care about from Voltaxic Rift is adds lightning damage. You don't need to break the bank, it doesn't need to be perfect, but the more the merrier. The more you shock something, the more damage it's going to take, and we activate shocks through Lightning Arrow so that we can benefit from that stat on Voltaxic Rift. Storm Secret. We use Storm Secret so that instead of having to kill something that has been shocked to activate our Herald of Thunder, we only have to shock it. So as soon as we shock something, our main damage skill is activated, and it comes with a really heavy downside. We take a lot of lightning damage every time Herald of Thunder hits something, specifically 500 damage every time. The other things that you need to know about this ring are its most important stats. Herald of Thunderstorm hits enemies with 50% increased frequency. 50% or bust, baby. I don't want to hear it. 50%. No arguments. Other than that, 29 intelligence. Intelligence matters because eventually you're going to need chance to poison tattoos and you're going to need intelligence passive points. I'll comment on that in just a little bit once we're talking more as to how Herald of Thunder actually functions as a skill. So that's Storm Secret in a nutshell. You take a lot of damage, it makes you deal more damage, and it gives you some stuff that you also need. So how do we mitigate a lot of that damage that we are taking from Storm Secret now that it's happening? Immortal Flesh. This is the earliest belt that will have the biggest upside for you with what we're trying to do. Regenerate a lot of life per second. Comes with a lot of maximum life because it's also a leather belt. That's a very handy implicit, in all honesty, especially when you're leveling. But it comes with a downside, minus all maximum resistances. The way that we circumvent that downside is, again, being a Pathfinder, and we use triple flask setup. Sapphire, Ruby, and Topaz. That's a lot of free resistances. And then we're also going to be using 3 rare items. So rare gloves, rare boots, and then a rare quiver. I don't have a quiver right now. I've just been leveling the character and kind of having fun. But let me talk to you about these rare items and what they should have on them. They should have maximum life, resistances, and then 2 of the items should have strength, and then 1 of the items should have intelligence. That intelligence is for the same reason as the Storm Secrets. You need poison on hit tattoos, and the strength is so that you can use Petrified Blood. Petrified Blood has a maximum strength requirement of 155, so you need that from somewhere. And let's talk about the Coming Calamity. The Coming Calamity is so that we can 6-link Herald of Thunder, and it's only going to reserve 45% of our maximum mana. It's very nice. Hello, old friend. I have not used this chess piece since Delve League. It has been a long time, and I'm having a lot of fun just using it again. I honestly don't think I've seen a build use this in quite some time, so here we go. Now, you may ask, well, why aren't you using something instead of Petrified Blood? Well, we're also using a Calamitous Vision Small Cluster Jewel, which gives us Lone Messenger. Lone Messenger is crazy for Herald of Thunder. Really, Herald skills in general, but it comes with a downside. Your aura skills are disabled, so we can only use reservation skills that are skills, not auras. That would mean we can use Aspect of the Spider, and we can use Petrified Blood. You can also use, what's it called? Arctic Armor. I think is what it's called, but I don't plan on doing that. So that's why we use the Coming Calamity. That's why we use Immortal Flesh. I just want to re-highlight on the rare items, maximum life, elemental resistances, aspect of the spider somewhere, and then 2 items with strength, 1 item with intelligence. Ashes of the Stars, all skill gem levels. What's not to like about that? We love all skill gem levels, and it comes with a super important modifier of quality to all skill gems. The quality moves over towards the Herald of Thunder, and that basically gives us the same modifier as what Storm Secret has going for it, and that's increased hit frequency. Instead of only having 20%, that can bump us all the way up to 50% quality on our gem, and that's a whole lot of additional hit frequency. Okay, it's time to talk to you about the most important part of the build, and it is our helmet. I would say this is what I am doing most differently compared to some other versions of Herald of Thunder Autobomber, and that would be Mind of the Council. We use Mind of the Council so that we can take 30% of our lightning damage as mana before life. We use Eldritch Battery so that our mana is our energy shield. Without Eldritch Battery, we would never have any energy shield. Sorry, that's like a tongue twister. Because of what Storm Secret is doing to us. Now, even with Eldritch Battery and only 30% of the damage coming through Storm Secret, it is enough to completely deplete Eldritch Battery permanently. So in tandem with Eldritch Battery and Mind of the Council, we use Ghost Reaver, Ethereal Feast, Leech Mastery for instant leech, and then we also used a Flask suffix where 15% of damage taken from hits is leached as mastery, or is leached as life during effect. Jeez, I'm slipping. So yeah, with that Flask suffix, with the Leech Mastery, Ethereal Feast and the nodes leading up to it, it gives a total recovery per second from Energy Shield Leech, the doubling effect of Ghost Reaver, and then Mind of the Council, putting it all into motion, we can mitigate the damage from Herald of Thunder coming back at us so very often. And I'm just going to show that to you again real quick, just so you can see that these are indeed the items that I'm using in that showcase. And I really love this. I cannot stress enough how much fun I actually think this is. It's an incredible puzzle build. I cannot stress enough you should level as something else until you get to like level 77 or 78, because it's going to be a real painful time if you try and swap over as soon as you can equip every of the uniques. You just won't have the passive points necessary. You should also have your 3rd ascendancy complete by the time you swap over, because again, it's going to be kind of pain unless you're doing it as another skill. And I'm not here to make you guys suffer, as entertaining as it may be to watch me suffer sometimes on some of my builds. That's not what I want for you guys. I want you guys to have fun. I want you to come across interesting ideas, and I want you to use those in your own builds. So, thanks for tuning in. I hope you guys found this interesting. I hope that you may give this a try. A lot of the uniques are super cheap. I know I said that Storm Secret has to be 50%, but that was a little bit of an exaggeration. Really, anything above 40% you're probably going to be fine, and then Ashes of the Stars can kind of compensate for anything else not being quite perfect. I don't know where I just picked that up from, but that was confusing. So yeah. Wait! I almost forgot to tell you. You need to know how Herald of Thunder behaves. So at the top you can see spell, right? You think it's a spell gem. It's not a spell gem. Herald of Thunder's spell tag comes from the buff portion. At the bottom you see buff grants 20 to 81 added spell damage. If you were to gain added spell damage, that added spell damage will not apply to the deals 26 to 1230 lightning damage. That modifier, the dealing portion, is considered secondary damage. Now, if you aren't familiar with what secondary damage is neither an attack nor a spell. So those modifiers won't apply. How do you scale it then? You scale it through the other modifiers: AoE, duration, lightning damage, herald. Why am I telling you about this? You need to understand this because, well, we can't benefit from spell modifiers. 10% chance to poison on hit with spell damage means nothing for us. it's a huge bummer. So that's why we care so much about intelligence small passives, so that we can transform them with those tattoos to gain the poison chance on hit that we need to drop chance on poison support. And we also don't benefit from other things like spell damage leech to energy shield. We benefit through Galvanic Field because that is a spell, but Herald of Thunder, once again, just to reiterate, is not. Another example, if you were to pick up Pain Attunement, it says spell damage. It would benefit from Galvanic Field, but it would not benefit Herald of Thunder. Maybe worth exploring, since we are kind of close, and I'm sure Galvanic Field does okay damage as a 6-link. We'll have to see, right? But 100%, you needed to know about that. Hey, you. Thanks for tuning in. You have no idea how much it actually means to me. Every like, comment, subscribe, view, they all add up, and I'm still a growing channel. So I feel like the best thing that I can tell you is that as a very small fish in a gigantic ocean, you have no idea how much I appreciate you spending your time here to see what I'm up to. So seriously, cheers. Unless you don't drink, then not cheers. But still, thank you. I mean it. And I also want to let you know that I plan on going live this afternoon on Twitch, sometime around 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. EST. I'll give you a heads up if you're part of the Discord already. And what are the games we're going to be playing? It's going to be a little bit of Valheim. Ashlands just dropped. If you're not familiar, that's their new patch basically. So I'm super excited to play that with Abby. I hope you'll tune in. And otherwise, we are definitely going to be playing some Path of Exile. I cannot wait to fully realize this build and give you an update as to where I've taken it. Other than that, I think that's about it. I'll quit bothering you guys, and I'll see you next time. Peace out, guys.